It's beer o'clock on Real Ale Craft Beer. Today we've got a beer from Chadlington Brewery, and this is a bottle of their Oxford Blonde. Coming in at 4% ABV in a 500ml bottle. There's a look at the bottle. We've got a gold bottle cap. Without further ado, let's get this beer out into a glass and see what we get. A little bit of liveliness going on. I could see as I opened the bottle there, it was touch lively, but there we go, there we go. And now from being really lively, there we go. Bit of in-house management. We've managed to get a 2-finger white head on this beer. We got a slightly hazy, or a hazy blonde coloured ale with little bits of sediment. You can see the bits and pieces floating around in the bottom of the glass. Little bits of sediment there going on. Now, what I want to mention about this beer is there's a difference in variation between a British blonde ale and a Belgian blonde ale. Of course, the beer style originates in Belgium. Maybe France or Belgium, one of those two countries. And in Belgium and France, they're generally a little bit more kind of, they got a little bit more of certainly that Belgian candied sugar malt going on. I like a Belgian blonde, I really do. But the English blonde is more to do with the colour. It's not to do with the flavour, it's to do with the colour of the beer. So This is English blonde beer, so it's going to be probably light, crisp and malty and look like a blonde. And that's as far as it kind of goes. I think when styles travel, especially if they travel over a period of 100 years, if a beer style has left Belgium 100 years ago and then it hits the UK over that 100-year period and people brew it and then they forget about it and then they might pick it up again in 20 years time, there's that kind of lost in translation of what the beer should really be. But then saying that, who knows, I've not got my conch in it yet, I've not smelt it yet, I don't know, it could be a Belgian blonde style beer, but I don't think, judging by it, it will be. No, very much not, it's just crisp and light and malty, slightly sweet, slightly bready, with a light zestiness coming through on the hops, or from the hops, should I say. Let's dive into this one. Cheers. Quite fragranced. It's quite fragranced. It's got a floral, flowery kind of taste to this beer. It's light and crisp and malty, with a certain dryness on the back end. A peppery spiciness coming through. It's very drinkable, very refreshing. And I've been making my way through the Chadlington beers. The Old Blue, the Oxford Blue, this blonde. What have they got? A Best Bitter, Old Blue, the Light Ale. And a few more as well we've got through. And I think what they've tried to do as a brewery is they're definitely using the same yeast. They've not strayed, or so far, I've got a couple more bottles to do after this. But they've used the same yeast strain for the whole of the kind of different styles of the beers that they've got. All they've changed, I think, is a few hops. They've changed the hops up a little bit in their beers, but they've certainly changed the malt. Some of the beers are darker, some of the beers are lighter, some of the beers look like blonde beers. So they're very, very comfortable with moving around with the malts. And I suppose that's the easy thing, because all you're doing is extracting the sugar from the beer. The difficult thing comes in is when you start mixing up yeasts and then you start kind of massively changing up the hops, using American hops and New World hops, which I don't think every single British brewer needs to do. I think there's a time and a place, and certainly for Chadlington, they make some really good British premium ales. And I've said this in one of my previous reviews of their beer, is that they make some really good traditional British beer, and there's a massive place for that. I think if everybody shifted over very quickly to producing American style IPA, New England IPAs, that sort of thing, I think within a year or two of everybody switching over to that beer style, which I think at this stage there's a slight danger that could happen, because everybody wants to drink these New England IPAs, then I think after a year or two, I think people would start to long for the British premium beer again, the British premium ale, and wonder where it went. So what I'm trying to say is I hope there's enough British breweries that hold firm here and carry on brewing traditional British premium ales, because there's a massive market for it, a massive market. Nice malty, biscuity, bready brews with a nice, in this case, in this argument, a floral, flowery, hoppy finish. It's very drinkable, very refreshing. And as I was mentioning earlier, if you bought a bottle of each of their beers, there's enough of a difference with the malts that you could enjoy a session on all of their beers, and you're getting a slight variation between each brew. So, Oxford Blonde Ale, known as the Oxford Beer, Chadlington Brewery is passionate about the art of brewing beer. We take our inspiration from the glorious Oxfordshire countryside to create great tasting beers that everyone can enjoy. Brewed using only natural ingredients, including the finest English hops and malt, Oxford Blonde is a light in colour and body, clean, crisp and refreshingly fruity. Please enjoy responsibly, of course. Yeah, that last message really grains me every time I read it. Well, I mean, you're not going to get some teenage lad going, "Oh, I'm gonna drive all the way to Oxford," or I'm definitely going to be picking up some of these for the weekend, lads. You know, it's just not. It's not going to happen. You're going to get middle-aged men like me buying this beer, and if we don't know how to drink responsibly by now, then God help us. Rating for this beer. Nice lacing on the glass, it looks good, it smells good, it tastes good. If you pick this up in anticipation of it being a Belgian blonde, then you will be completely wrong. This is not a Belgian blonde, this is a British blonde by just colour of the ale. A lost in translation beer. I like it enough to give it a 7 out of 10. It's a 7 out of 10 from Real Ale Craft Beer. Please put your comments in the comments box, subscribe to our daily beer and food reviews, give us a big fat thumbs up. Boom! Cheers!